But no, Beth York goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome back to the CVR World Cup Mixer page. As always, my name is Jesper Anker and for the next 2 hours I'll be guiding you through all the action here on this great Saturday. We've already had some racing, some of which I attended into it, and can only apologize to those that go back and watch the replay. That was rough, it was fun, the chat was live, Beth was on the commentary. I mean, Niels Heldens versus Timothy Tamont. If you've yet to see the finish on Fantastic Alien Sea, I highly recommend you head over to CVRcade's Facebook page right now and watch that finish, because that will go down in history. We're still in the run-up to the CVR World Cup. We've just finished Season 1, where we saw $25,000 being distributed to racers who raced over 9 weeks. Soon, Season 2 is about to begin. So these racers, they're getting back in after a Christmas vacation. They're, like, you know, getting rid of some of the cobwebs. It's going to be fun. Joining us from around the world, we have on the stream today Nigel Doyle, who's streaming from New Zealand, a recent member of Velocity Vixen. Casey Shum is back on the stream, Team Cycling Hub member. We've got the Beast Master, I'm not sure if that nickname is going to stick or not, but Homer Thompson is ready to race. We've got Ben Shuey along from the UK, who is in here. We have got Moti Pikelny returning from his adventures in Hawaii, and for those that have seen his monstrous climb, he's got the form, but it's been a while since he's been on Cade. How will he perform today? Carl Axel Sander, Velocity Vixen member, is ready to race as well. He's been off the platform for a bit, but with Season 2 of the CVRcade World Cup just around the corner, riders are getting back in. And last but not least, we have Jennifer Garcia rounding out the streaming troupe today. Who is going to take the win here? That's what we're going to see. Jennifer, you've seen the racing already earlier today. What did you take away from watching the stream?
A lot of good racing. I really like the configuration of this Omnium, so I'm looking forward to Roman Arena, and I'm also looking forward to the fact that there wasn't any crazy 30-kilometer race. We'll see. There's a lot of weight, I think, on Dark Matter Velo, which is what I'm a little bit more familiar with and I'm fearing, but we'll see how it goes.
I like how you've got your eyes already down the line. You're starting on Electric Rush here. I mean, this is a track, this is a type of race you've done well in the past.
Yeah, I think hopefully I can pull out some of the old tactics here on this one. But there's a lot of riders today, which is scary, and it makes the use of Comeback Kit a little bit different. So
we'll see how it goes. Comeback Kit, a very powerful power-up. Good luck to you, Jennifer. Good luck to the rest. We'll chat to everybody in between the breaks as we see the racing. You can see in the chat, we've got Lucky Torres back. Lucky Torres, I remember you. About, what is that, 8 Saturdays ago, you were in the chat. I remember you sending your screenshot into the support team showing how you were watching Liverpool. You were watching you were playing Fortnite, watching the CVR World Cup here on Mixer. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. I look forward to seeing you on the platform. I think Nigel, he's just sending a few messages on his phone because him and Carl Axel Sander are teammates for the first time ever out on track. This is going to be a good day of racing. We have about, 15 players out on track. I think this is going to be a lively set of races with zones K and L. And off to an early start. It's already Carl Axel Sander here with a bit of early wattage. It looks like he may be a Cade Cadet coming back in, so the game is going to have to figure out just where he lays. Now, Jennifer Garcia, newly acquired clipless shoes. When you are clipped in, totally different game. Rumor has it she may stand up for this race, so we'll keep a close eye to see if that does take place. But Nigel Doyle, Casey Shaw, Moti P. Kelney, Daniel LeBlanc, who recently upgraded his setup, is in here at the back using his comeback kit. Who is going to be the first one to launch? Jeff Rooney is also in here. Velocity Vixen have got numbers. Homer Thompson is further down. This is a much different race to that of which we saw earlier today. Sony, fewer racers, a bit more cagey, a bit more nervous. This is high power. Look at Homer already throwing his weight left and right as Jeff Rooney goes on to the attack. Ben was thinking about reacting for a second, but opted not to. Looks like Nigel is trying to go with it, using his comeback kit. This is going to be tense, but they're going so quick. They're doing 61 kilometers an hour. Breaking away is a tough ask here. As Carl goes to the back, he uses his comeback kit, but I think the timing on this might be a bit rough as he's going to struggle to get back on terms. One lap remaining, and on the front, Moti P. Kelney is taking it up. 900 equalized watts. He's giving it everything. We've gotten used to seeing this, but it's Ben, it's Jennifer. 100 meters remain, and there is the finish line just around the corner. Ben, Jennifer, Casey. I think Casey took it. Ben, Moti, that's too close. Casey does take the win in the end. Ben comes second. Moti gets third. Jennifer gets fourth. Nigel in fifth. Homer sixth. You can see the smile on Casey's face. Can't believe how close that was. Let's bring up the instant replay because on these low skill events, it's very difficult to get back in, to get onto and figure out where you are in the racing. So Carl lets go of the group. He tries to get back in, but isn't the case for him. I know he recently did a VO2 max test, so he may be feeling a bit of the fatigue from that. But Jeff and Nigel attempted an early attack to get away, but it wasn't meant to be for them as they get caught on the line. Then Jennifer and Ben next up. 1200 equalized watts for Ben, but he doesn't go anywhere at that moment. And when they cross the finish line, that is it. I think Casey just had a glitch of some sort on his web camera, so I'm not sure what happened there. We'll let him sort that out. But in the meanwhile, let's go and chat with Ben Shuilong. Ben, that was a big attack, 1200 watts. You satisfied with second?
Yeah, very much so. Hang on, someone's talking to me. I was pleased with that. After seeing Peter's victory earlier today, I was going to try and do the same thing, but I think a lot of people went at the same time, really. So, I just put in a big sprint from 300 or so, maybe 250 meters to go. So far so good. Legs feel good, so we'll see how he goes.
Well, Peter does have that finish nailed down. I think he's like 4 for 4 in 2020, or at least the last few races he's done. Good luck here in Roman Arena. I do see Casey is back, despite some technical difficulties. Casey, that last race was close, man. Talk me through your mindset when you go into that sprint.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think I had it. I won't give my secret away on how I sprint that one, but I didn't think it was going to work out, and I had big momentum, and rolled around the group right at the last moment. So, it worked out good. It was a big sprint, but it worked just as I planned, going hard, and then something crashed. My game crashed and OBS crashed, so I had to restart everything quick, but I think we're good to go.
Well, I'm glad to have you back here, but Casey, we're going back in time here because you're now used to riding with teammates. You're the sole rider here. Vixen has got number, Cognitions have got numbers here. What's it like to be back as the lone wolf?
Yeah, I may get punished for what I did earlier in the week for sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, Allison
I'm
isn't
still
here to
pretty
dish some of that back.
Yeah, true.
Well, good luck, Casey, here in Roman Arena. 1 minute remains here before the racing begins. I want to get a quick word. I know it's last minute, but just 2 seconds here from Nigel. Nigel, looked like you and Jeff attempted an attack there. What's it like to have Jeff to now, strategize and theory craft and try to execute these strategies?
Oh, yeah, we did have a strategy in that race of Jeff going early, but because it's so short, the course, everyone's just going flat out, so didn't really pan out. It's just you just got to go hard in that one, and then at the end, really hard. And that's
I like how you're describing all of the CVRcade World Cup in one sentence there, Nigel. 25 seconds to go. Good luck here as we get set for 5 laps of Roman Arena. In the chat, I see we've got Velo Dan KOS. Thank you for joining. And Lucky Taurus going a bit crazy on the gifts. I'm liking it as we get ready once more. This is a tough race. It's a race where you can get back, but you really need to be aware of the attacks off the front. You've got to be attentive at all times, and out the gun here, we already see Frank Garcia is racing today, albeit not on the stream, but the trademark Frank Garcia, and then he goes down. That's not the trademark Frank Garcia move, but perhaps that could be it. But he used his power-ups from the gun to try and break away. Wasn't the case. Now, Jennifer and Ben Shuilong here on the front. Ben is back in the Pink Panthers uniform. Jennifer here in the CVRcade World Cup. They've got a 3-second gap here. They've got a chance, but when you look further back, it is Team Cognition ruling the day. Sebastian Kuhn, Daniel LeBlanc, Homer Thompson, they're sitting here down in the group, in the peloton, and they're just looking at the breakaway, thinking of what to do. Homer recently found an incredible pace. Like, his form recently has just been hot. Now, can he continue that streak? Because that is the main question. With physical equalization, equalizing the playing field here, Homer having a breakout day, can he repeat it once more? That is what everyone is looking at. His team leader and teammate, Moti Pikelny, back after hiatus. So it's Cognition on the front and Cognition on the back here, as they will now be looking to working together. Now, there was a brief moment where Casey thought about bridging the gap to Jennifer and Ben. He was on the left. He was thinking, maybe I go. It looks like he's decided not to, which in the long game, in the big scheme of things, could potentially be the right play, because there's 5 laps. There may not be a 30-kilometer race in here, but there's a 15-kilometer race in here, which is tough enough. You've got to take your turns. But Ben Shuilong, Jennifer Garcia on the front. Now, I don't know if you all have an active subscription to the Civil Blocker, but if you don't, I highly suggest you do so. It is the best piece of journalism there is in the CVRcade world, which I believe is run by Nils Heldens and Quentin Molyneux. And if you haven't read the recent article that was posted today, it kind of alludes to the fact that maybe Jennifer and Ben are teaming up with Timothy Tamont here on this new team, and we're already seeing that alliance come out here. Jennifer on the front leading with Ben, and they're taking turns. So earlier today, we saw Nils Heldens and Timothy Tamont in a breakaway. They used to be teammates, now they're no longer. They tried somewhat to work together, but Nils wasn't having much of it. Timothy is not particularly known for his cooperation in breakaways either. But now, when you potentially have 2 teammates on the front, they'll be looking to take turns. But I think we'll look back into the chasing group here. I think Carl, I think Casey, they can kind of see their prey into the distance, and they'll be thinking about making that gap, making the bridge up to the front here. As I see, I like how Team Cycling Hub did not show up for the racing here. I know some are out with illness, some are considering how to save energy, some have already raced this morning, looking at Nils, but they have showed up in mass in the chat, which is great to see. Tim thinks Casey has got it, so Nils also says the Civil Blocker is the only bit of journalism, but I'll take it. I don't know, maybe I'd say some of the interviews for the talk show are also slightly investigatory journalism, but Casey has made the bridge. He's come up here to the front group. First of 5 laps. coming to an end here as they enter the Colosseum. Now, Velocity Vixen, they've got to be ready to pounce on this opportunity because they're within 3 seconds. Casey will work together with the front two. He would much rather take his chances. Well, they got to be careful they don't slide out, and they don't. But Casey would rather take his chances versus Jennifer and Ben than all of Cognition, all of Velocity Vixen. And so Carl, Jeff, Nigel in here as well. He's, though, further back with Frank Garcia. We have seen Nigel be a member of the Bot Patrol in the past. I don't think that is the intention today from Nigel Doyle, but he does find himself with Frank Garcia, so these two, they could be taking some turns and trying to work together. Homer has just been distanced here at the ending of lap 1, so one Cognition member down. Sebastian Kuhn raced earlier today, and now he looks to be out the back as well. So maybe fatigue starting to creep in for him. Moti is the lone rider left for Team Cognition, and now it is all back together. Carl Axel Sander, Jeff Rooney have bridged back the gap. Now, what does this mean? How do you change this up here? I'm loving the intensity of the racing, the strength of the field. As there's a tiny bit of a block on the right there, but it could be incidental as Casey is letting a gap go. Casey not taking up here. He's looking around. He is just opening a gap on Carl and Jeff. So maybe looking to the side. He may be looking at a different monitor, trying to change up a few things. And in doing so, he's opening up a gap on two of his competitors. He can also see Seb. If we look over the shoulder here, that blue rider in the distance is Sebastian Kuhn. And we all know the metronome, you know, the destroyer. He's not exactly somebody you want to bring back. It's Moti at 192. We have a big pace group going on here. It's all back together, despite the early efforts of Jennifer and Ben. But how do you play this now? Because I'm not sure Jennifer has looked over the shoulder yet and seen that the entire group is there. She's still on the front, laying down the hurt. So it's always these situations where the true tacticians come out. The people that can make the right decisions under pressure, they usually rise to the top. So that's where you see Tim do very well. You've seen Sebastian. And this is where Casey now, he's got some fresher legs. He's been sitting in. He goes over the top. Who's going to go with this move? Who's going to go on to the attack? So we'll see. Casey, 11 kilometers to go, has gone on to the move. The victims so far have only really been Homer Thompson and Nigel Doyle, but there's plenty of racing left. We've got Dark Matter Velo coming up after this, as I see Neil saying FP. That is funny. We've got Dark Matter Velo after this, and we got Fantastic Alien Sea to round out the night, but this sets the tone as Casey putting down the herd on the front. Ben and Jennifer still just sticking together with Moti and Carl chasing it further down. This is tough racing, and when you look at the power-ups, no one has really used any power-ups except Frank, and you've got one wind at your back, you've got 2 path of least resistance, and 2 weight lifteds. Now, they came into play massively in Zone E earlier today. Timothy saved his weight lifted for the sprint, and just barely beat Niels Heldens at the finish line. That's what happens when you sprint all the way to the line and not celebrate like 75 miles prior to the finish line. As Carl on the incline using his weight lifted. There was an interesting tidbit. Now, Casey has said this for a while. Timothy brought it up in the interview doing Zone E. Sometimes that weight lifted isn't best used on the inclines. If you can save it for a flat surface or for a sprint, that bit of acceleration can make the world of difference here. As Carl feeling it, he's letting go of the group as now being forced to use another power-up. So there's a gap happening in the front. Moti, Casey, they have worked together in Zone T before. They've raced each other numerous times on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so we're going to see how it pans out. Moti, though, he's all alone, despite Cognitions having several riders. Daniel LeBlanc. Oh, Moti goes down! Oh, bring that one up on the replay. I think he goes inside here. So this corner speed is around 42, I believe. It's 40 on the very inside. And so he goes to the right here despite being at 40. And when you try to change to an inside lane, when you're over the speed, Moti knows it. That's a mistake that can cost him dearly. He can try and fight on back. He's got his teammate Sebastian up the road, but that's going to be difficult. So the 5-man group is now down to a 4-man group as Jennifer, Jeff, Ben, and Casey make it up. Chat, how do you think this is going to pan out? We've got Lucky Taurus, Supermarine, Spitfire, Mutt KG's in here after Vanessa pulled a great trip this morning as she woke up early to moderate the chat. You've got Tim Fulford in here, Quentin is in here, Dan LeBlanc is in here. Let me know, guys, how do you think this is going to work out? Louis says, Carl doesn't have a heart rate monitor. How does that work with equalized power? Not too sure, Luis, not too sure. That is a question for the development team, but of course you need a heart rate monitor in order to be eligible to win in the CVRcade World Cup, but I'm not so sure that is the case here in the run-up, but there's no prices. You can take it as you want, so we're going to see what happens. Jennifer still on the front here, still just working away. It may look like she is just playing the role of domestique here, keeping the pace high, trying to get rid of Sebastian, trying to get rid of Carl. Frank's further down. Maybe she could be waiting for Frank because, like, Frank is at 198. Frank gave it everything from the gun. Used a weight lifted, used his power-ups, used his wind at his back, and then, immediately crashed into a rider and went down. Now, he's coming back, and I've seen this. This happened to me this morning. I was feeling it from being a CADE cadet, so I didn't have that much power. But as the system got more and more confident in me, it kind of just let a bit go. And I came from all the way back within 20 seconds of the front group. And this is a track that allows for that kind of racing. Carl and Frank working together. I mean, this is far from over. But the advantage currently lays with Casey Shum, I think. Casey, like, the advantage of having several teammates has somewhat been negated. There's no Nigel, there's no Carl up here. Cognition have lost Homer, they've lost Daniel, they've lost Luis Sobranis. And so that is where numbers have been going out, and this really opens the opportunity for Casey to go. Nils says, wait, Jesper was racing this morning? I only saw him on Dark Matter Velo. Nils, I'd like to let you know that unfortunately they didn't cut to me when it happened, they cut away, but I was actively apologizing on the stream for putting the block on you. When I saw it, I was like, oh no, because I was so annoyed at myself that I fat fingered the left button. But yes, I was a CADE cadet, it's good to be back. Now Ben has taken over on the front here. What game are they playing at this front four group? Because it's becoming more and more evident that the back group is going to come back. Frank is leading the charge. He's being joined by Carl Axel Sander. He's being joined by... Ooh, that was close. Can we bring that up on the replay? That looked like it could have been a near crash with both Carl and Frank. It could be one of those very rare situations where both of them move simultaneously into the same lane. I think that is. Frank and Carl at the exact same time moved to the same lane, which I think I've never seen before, but sometimes I think that allows some breathing room for both riders as they simultaneously do it, and there won't be a crash for either. Moti, though, comes on through with Sebastian. They can see the front group. Now, Sebastian's got to be careful. His path least resistance runs out just before the top. That is excellent gameplay. But they can see the front group, and we're just about halfway through all of the racing, and it's all going to come back. But if there's one person who doesn't want this to happen, it's Casey Shum, and he's doing this because he can see Jennifer has lost touch with the front group. So she's been doing very well. She's been spending a lot of energy. We don't know her heart rate, and she uses her soul wind at her back power-up to get back in touch. And with 6.8 kilometers to go, and she's got to be careful she doesn't crash in there. She's going at 42. She slams on the brake, doesn't slide out. Now, there is 6.7 kilometers to go. in Zone E, this race really set the tone going forward, particularly because it's Timothy Tamont on Dark Matter Velo. I think we're going to see somewhat similar results here. If we think forward, someone like Ben is quite good on Dark Matter Velo. Casey is quite good. Jeff has been getting better. Frank used to be excellent on it. It's been a while since he raced. Moti has been good. Carl's been getting better. But that chasing group now, splitting up. Moti has lost touch with his teammate Sebastian. Carl has too. And Frank's getting back in. Are we going to see a late comeback from Frank Garcia? He is at 200 equalized heart rate, so he does not have much left. Now, I'm not just sure what Lucky Torres did, but I think he just donated some bits. I'm not sure what that is, Lucky. If you could let me know. But it says, it never gets easier. You just go faster. Greg LeMond, former pro cyclist, 3 times the Tour de France champion and 2 times road race world champion. Now, whatever you just did, thank you very much. Now, Jennifer, again, she's just within touch. Weight lifted being used. She used wind at her back in the Coliseum. She's going to have to fight to get back on, but I think she may be looking back here, thinking about Frank as well, because the two of them could potentially work together. But we're getting into the pointy end of the action. We're getting into the meaty bit, because now somebody's going to attack and will not come back. We're looking at Casey, we're looking at Jeff, we're looking at Ben on the front. How does Casey currently look? He looks calm and composed. I think Tim said it well earlier in the chat that Casey is max relaxing currently, so that is a new one. But if you compare the equalized heart rates, Ben is at 188, Jeff is at 187, but Casey, that's 7 bits lower. Now, Lucky says, sparks you farm, but embers you buy. Well, regardless, Lucky, thank you very much for your bit of mixer knowledge sharing. As he says, hype in the chat. Now, side by side, coming into the finish, 5 kilometers remaining. This is going to be really, really fun to watch. Zone E provided a great finish with Nils, with Timothy. Now, we've got 3 racers in the front, but I think Frank may come back. He's at 206, so he's feeling it. I think Sebastian, I think Jennifer have got a chance of coming back. Everything kind of favors an attack here from Casey, but Ben's going to have none of it. The biggest issue Ben had in the CVRcade World Cup Grand Finale was the lack of urgency, the lack of, initiating attacks. This time, he is putting one over on Casey Shum, but he's not getting much of a gap here. It is succeeding, though, in dropping Jeff Rooney. So the trio is down to a duo. And which of the two will become successful from this attack? Good move there from Ben, though, but Jeff Rooney could be coming back. Power-ups being used, they're all ready. Good usage of the path of least resistance. As Homer Thompson fighting to get back, he's not going to give up. Carl Axel Sander is in 8th. He finds himself with Moti Pikilny. He wipes the sweat off his face. Frank Garcia is working with Jennifer Garcia to get back on, but that gap is going in the wrong direction. Now, Jeff is in panic stations. It's DEFCON 1. He's used path of least resistance, both of them, and I think I saw a weight lifted as well. So Jeff Rooney fighting to get back on terms. He knows that 1 lap remains after this, as we're setting up for a fantastic finale, as Jeff will be joining us here on the stream in Zone L, which is the zone after Zone K, which is the second zone of the day. Ben Shuilong, now he's at 196. He's been distanced by Casey. He's gone over the top. We've seen this time and time again from Casey Shum. I think it's the way he saves energy that makes him so special. He's got the same amount of energy as everybody else, but he is saving that power. He's saving that energy for the right moment. Sits in, just saving the power, and then when the moment arrives, he goes all in. He's not afraid of putting down the cards on the table, taking the chips, putting them into the middle, and saying, read them and weep. Now, it could come back here, as we'll see what happens, as Ben is still fighting. 2 seconds is the gap. It kind of looks like Casey has just been sitting up, thinking, looking around, maybe saving some energy as there's a whole nother lap to go. The Pink Panthers have rejoiced As Timothy, you saw him earlier today rock the pink skin. Ben Shuilong back rocking the pink skin as well. So now they're back on touch. Now, Sebastian Kuhn, who rode earlier today. Now, there was understanding. There was a misunderstanding. Now, this race was meant to have Uncrashable, but due to an unfortunate mishap with the event's creation team, this race does not have Uncrashable. Now, Sebastian he read that and I believe it did. So in Zone E, he changed it to somebody and he crashed not once but twice. You would have thought he learned the second time, but no, he did it the second time again. But that's how Sebastian works. He made a mistake earlier today. Now he's back for revenge. We all know the more tired Sebastian gets, somehow more energy. Like somebody standing there with like petrol and just like looking up at the meter going, yeah, a bit more, yep, a bit more, and saying, yep, that's enough. And Sebastian Kuhn is trying to get back on. Jeff, though, has been distanced, and we have a 2-up finish. Casey has already dropped Ben once, but it is the entire Omnium that counts. Remember that we're looking across all 4 races as Lucky Taurus is going mad with the gifs and the emojis in the chat. Luis says Sep the Dominator. That is another nickname to add to his resume of nicknames. I mean, we're up to what? The Jury, the Judge, the Executioner, the Metronome, the Destroyer, the Dominator, the... I don't know, what else do you want to add to Sebastian Kuhn's nicknames portfolio? But looking back further down, Jennifer is working with Frank. So after work on the front, that's over. Moti is waiting up here for Homer, Nigel, and Carl Axel Sander. I mean, Nigel's back where he feels the most comfortable. This is the bot patrol. He controls them with a firm fist. As you can see, he's not bothered. Meanwhile, on the front, we have a move. Ben Shuilong has put on a move. Weight lifted here on the descent as well. This is a clever attack. But Casey Shum is awake and aware. And with 1100 equalized watts, he's brought the guns to the gun show today. And he is going to be making that move rather quickly. Ben's got to be careful this path of least resistance doesn't run out, but it does. So 196 versus 195. Casey Shum starting to look human here. Starting to look like he actually does bleed. As he says, nah, none of that. Get it out of here. But we all know Clark Kent by day, Superman by night. As Casey Shum always in the racing. 195, 197 from Ben. This is where the move is going to be. There it is. Wind at your back. Weight lifted. Casey Shum getting as far away from Ben as possible. 1, not give him a draft. 2, avoid the chance of getting a block. As Ben uses his weight lifted. 195 versus 199. Look at Casey Shum. This is not often you see Casey at 200 equalized heart rate. Team cycling up here. Low in numbers, high in spirits, high in power. As 8 seconds just like that have been put in to Ben Shuilong. And I don't think that can be made up. Without a wind at your back power up left from Ben, which I'm not sure he's got. But Casey, how much did he spend? How much energy was used in that attack? We've got Dark Matter Velo after this. We've got Fantastic Alien C 3 laps after this. Bring down the scoreboard and you can see how this affects the racing. Casey finds himself 12 points ahead of Ben Shuilong, but that can all change with one fell swoop of a crash. Ben does have a wind at his back. He saved it. Was it the right move? It doesn't look to be here. There is not much left. 600 equalized watts. And as the wind at his back power up runs out, it is Casey Shum who can sip up his fictional Cycling Hub jersey and celebrate. He had to work hard for that one though. That one didn't come easy. Ben Shuilong, respectable second place, but what could have been with a power-up usage on the hill. Jeff Rooney, come over third. He was kind of the victim of the the match between Casey and Ben. They just seem to have that one gear more, as Jeff will come over in third. Sebastian Kuhn, again, he was fourth in Zone E, only because he let me pass, but he'll be fourth again here in Zone K. Now further down, who's gonna win the sprint finale here? Jennifer versus Frank Garcia here in the sprint. I think they might see a bit of competition between them here. I think both of them are competitive. I think both of them kind of want to win this sprint. So we're coming up to it any second now. There's also Moti Bikelny coming from the distance here. Is this going to be heartbreak? Frank's going to attempt a block. He's going to attempt a block, and he doesn't get it. Moti versus Jennifer. I think Moti just took that on the line. If we look at it, Jennifer got 34 points. Moti got 38, and that's how much it took out of him. Let's roll up the instant replays. Now, Casey, he really won because he went all in the right time. That wind at his back, he used it all to create the gap, to create the separation. Once over the top, it's about maintaining it. He went all the way to 201 equalized heart rate to stay away. Ben saving his wind at his back, somewhat playing it safe, thinking if it comes back to a sprint, I'll have the advantage. But sometimes you don't get to the sprint, and that's where the two different schools of power of usage are. You use them early, you use them late, you use them in the middle, you use them at the end. There's very different policies and thinking and strategies behind it, but one thing's for sure, this sprint from Moti Bikelny, what a comeback, what an effort. Frank sees it just a bit too late as Moti comes around, and just like earlier, it is, just like Zone E, it's a photo finish. But congratulations, Casey. That got pretty close in the end. It's not often we see you at 201 equalized heart rate.
Yeah, that was a good sprint to get away there. But, yeah, I just kind of rode that one on the wheels and let them burn power-ups and tried to go myself without burning power-ups to know I had more at the end to use. So it worked out. Now, with every track swap, my OBS and game crashes, so I'm trying to get back into the game again here.
Well,
hopefully
I'll let you concentrate on that. I'd rather have you in the game. Let's make the rounds. We've heard from Ben before as well. Just want to hear from Nigel here, because Nigel, the bot patrol, what is it that makes you so compelled to ride with Clarence, Thomas, Musk?
Oh, well, I'm doing 2 zones today. I'm still recovering from Friday, so I haven't got it. My legs aren't there to go hard out. Luis was there on a keyboard doing 366 watts, so I sat in behind him, and that was great because I was catching the leaders up, but he stopped. He must have cottoned on that he was giving me a free ride.
You always hate when that happens. Let's go hear quickly from his teammate Moti. I know it's a minute to go. I just want to hear, man, that sprint. It looked like you gave it everything.
Oh, it was wild. I was just trying to catch up to them after crashing out of the front group. 5 laps of that course is brutal, and boy, it was close at the end. I am rusty. This is a good tune-up before the next series starts.
Well, that's what this is for. 30 seconds remain. Good luck in Dark Matter Valley, Moti. I think you won a lot of hearts with the effort that was on display in that last race, beating Frank and Jennifer Garcia by like less than an inch, I think that was. Now 20 seconds to go before Dark Matter Velo will begin. The 2.5 scoring multiplier of the day here. Casey is leading, Ben in second, Jeff in third, Moti in fourth, and Sebastian in fifth. I think all eyes here will be on Ben and Casey on the front. Can Ben recover? Ben has been getting better on Dark Matter Velo, but when the lights are on him, he tends to sometimes come to the pressure, but he's so far out of the gate ready. It's Casey, it's Ben. They're both getting ready as Casey crashes. Casey went down. He tried to give it everything in that corner, and he might get blocked here. Oh, Chien just gets through, and Casey, just like that, every single effort in Roman Arena has been nullified. Let's hear from Casey. What's up, Casey?
It's 42 kph, not 32, not 42. I was like, oh, I'm 40, I'm good.
I think it's like 34.5 in that one, but Casey, that's a lesson you'll learn. You can still make it back up, considering it's fantastic Alien Sea in the end. Well done, by the way, on dodging Jeff while talking to me. I'll let you get back in and focusing. But now, the ball is in Ben's court. Casey, mental blunder, one you don't see often. You know that gif, guys, the facepalm gif where like a movie, one person start, the second person, and the whole crowd comes in? That's what I imagine the Team Cycling Hub chat is like when they saw Casey go down in the very first corner. There seems to be something, as Frank goes down, there seems to be something on this track and Team Cycling Hub that just doesn't correlation between them. As Ben now come on through to the front. He's got the Fred Whitten jersey on in real life. He knows how to handle the pressure when you've got to go up those steep climbs in the Lake District. He's been the nearly man on Dark Matter Velo so many times. Third place, third place, third place. Then he did win one, but it's been a while. Now this could be his chance. He needs every single point he can get to put Casey behind him, but this is where Casey's so good. Despite that crash on lap 1 of 8, he comes from 12th place up to 11 to 10 to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6 now to 5. And he's within touching distance of Carl Axel Sander. So he might take one more spot. I think we're going to have a really fun finale on Fantastic Alien Sea. As Carl Axel Sander miraculously has found his heart rate monitor. Oh, he's going to get blocked here. Nigel Doyle with the block on his teammate. Oh, let's go and see what Nigel, newly acquired teammate of Velocity Vixen, shuts the door on a long-standing member. There'll be some talk by the water cooler. And just like that, Casey has gone from 5th, past Carl, past Daniel, now into 3rd, and only 5.5 points behind Ben Shuilong. And further up the road, Moti P. Kelney is knocking on the door here for Ben. He's just creeping up saying, I'm here, Ben, I'm here. If you make a mistake, I'm here. As Ben accelerates into that corner. That's risky, especially with the wind. But Moti, he's gaining 2 laps remain here. If Moti takes the win, that would put Ben down into 2nd place, and it would put Casey into 1st. But there also is an opportunity here for Moti to try and move up into 2nd place on the podium here in the Omnium. 400 meters remain. Ben and Moti on the front. Don't be biting your fingernails right now, because this is getting nervous. Jennifer crashes out of 4th place. She was doing a good job as Jeff Daniel. Everybody goes down. They pass Frank. 1 lap remains. What's Moti gonna do? Is he gonna risk it for the biscuit? Ooh, Ben chooses the... Oh, Ben goes down! Ben succumbs to the pressure. Now he's gotta hope he gets up. Casey goes far left. He avoids the lanes. And just like that, from hero to 0, Ben Shuilong. Doesn't matter if you lead for 7 laps when there's 8 laps in total. And he's gonna be careful he doesn't get caught from behind. But Moti is in 2nd place now, ahead of Ben by 0.5 point. As Moti P. Kelney takes the first win of his 2020 CVRcade racing history. Casey somehow gets 2nd, despite it not being 42 kilometers an hour in that corner. Ben can't help but laugh, he knows. Carl Axel Sander, great effort for him to come 4th. Sebastian Kuhn will be up next from Team Cognition. Then you've got Jennifer Garcia just beating Homer Thompson to the finish line. Daniel, Jeff, Nigel, Luis further down. Man, if we can bring up those instant replays, because that was a nail-biting finale. Moti was there for so long, just saying, Ben, if you make a mistake, I'm going to come on through. And when you are like that, you're going to make a mistake. That's just bound to happen. Ben still smiling, but on the inside, probably screaming his ears off, thinking what could have been. Moti, though, taking a very, very good win on Dark Matter Velo to propel himself into 2nd place. And we have a great race ahead of us on Fantastic Alien Sea, as we're gonna round off Zone K with this 3 laps. Remember, Zone L starts at the top of the hour, so more racing to come. But Moti, congratulations. That was a nail-biting affair to the very end.
Yeah, fewer laps than we're used to, so not as much time for people to come back. I just played it conservatively behind Ben, hoping that he'd make a mistake, and then got close near the end. There was some traffic, got slowed down, but just we ran out of road, and I'm happy to take the victory.
Nah, man, that was good. How you played that was excellent. Good luck here in Fantastic Alien Sea. We've got to talk to the man who, if he's still there, if he hasn't left crying just yet, Ben. You were there! You were gonna win! Dark Matter Velo just seems to be kryptonite.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker, but I thought I could see some traffic up front. I could see some slow people in the lane I was going for, so I made a last-minute decision to switch lanes, but forgot to brake. It's just one of those things. So I'm still pleased. I'm still pleased I held it together till that last moment. So things are improving. I'm having a good day, so I'm enjoying it.
Now, Moti has taken your spot on the podium. Casey's in first. Are we going to see a master performance from you in this one, or what's the strategy going into Fantastic Alien Sea?
I don't know. It depends if Casey's ever going to do a turn on the front.
Oh, and on that note, Casey, are you ever going to do a turn on the front?
Just when I see the checkered flag. That's the only time I'll do that. Oh, crash again.
Oh no, we'll let you figure out. We'll go Casey figure out the technical difficulties. 1 minute 30 remains. Sitting down in 6th place. Let's go and chat to Jennifer Garcia. Jennifer, it's been a rocky start. Looked good in the first race. Then you were working on Roman Arena. What's been the strategy from your end?
Yeah, I'm trying to help out Ben here. Not doing a very good job. My dad and I on Roman Arena, we had like a good thing going, but that little distance you have when you're trying to draft someone is so hard for me mentally. And I really need to be able to just push through that. But big shout out to Modi at the end there. I was trying to go hard and I could have should have gone harder, but that was awesome on his part. So.
How about this race? All or nothing?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty dead. So again, I'm gonna see how much I have in me. But no promises.
There is a chance to get 5th and 4th in this one, so we'll see. Good luck in this race, Jennifer. As if we can bring down the scoreboard, or actually it's already brought down. You'll see Casey in the top spot. You'll see Moti P. Kelney is currently in 2nd with Ben Shuilong in 3rd. Moti winning the previous race here on Dark Matter Villa. That was a really good finish. Now, earlier today, we saw Timothy Tamont celebrate way too early as Nils Heldens came around him and won on Fantastic Alien Sea. We're teeing up for another great finish here. Moti stands up. He gets ready. Frank with his power-ups. Racer's Edge corner kick, but everything here from Frank Garcia out of the gun. He's got to be careful he doesn't crash. If corner cable runs out here, he's got a chance. But no, the master himself has got a gap. And clever from Ben here to see the move to go with him. Ben Shuilong goes on to the attack here. He is also using corner caper. Very different approach, but clever. Frank Garcia, Ben Shuilong. Ben, if you bring down the scoreboard, is currently your virtual leader on the road. But this is because Casey is biding his chances. He's sitting in 5th. He is waiting and waiting. He's got Jennifer Garcia ahead of him. I said Casey's still having a bit of technical difficulty with the stream. Jennifer is the wheel ahead of Casey, so I'm not sure what Casey's thinking of here. He may be having a bit of technical difficulties, which we hope not is the case. Otherwise, he really just likes to sit in this wheel. It comes out. No, Casey is there. Casey is definitely there and attentive. And so Frank Garcia, Ben Shuilong, this is a bold move and I like it, but Ben needs a bit more help from everybody else. He needs at least 4 riders between him and Casey Shum to win it. Casey looks strong. Carl is working hard. Even Moti has a chance to win if Moti goes into 1st place. If all the bricks fall in the right place, if all the cards get handed out in the right order, he might even have a chance here to win. Now, Nils says, I think Casey's PC may have froze. Well, he was changing lanes, so I hope not. I think he is still there. Further back in the pack as Frank goes down. Homer is here. He's sticking with the bot patrol. Nigel Doyle, Daniel LeBlanc is down here as well. See if Casey Shum, is he back? No. I think Casey is there, and he must be, because he just used corner cable, razor's edge, and weight lifted. This is a place we've seen him use it before, and now Casey is back in the lead. And he passes Jeff. Oh, he crashes! Oh no! Corner caber runs out. Bring that up on the replay. As Casey with the corner caber attacks. And the corner is just too long. And it's on the right. And it runs out. One tick. Gone. Just like that. He is way off the back. And this leaves the door open for Ben and Moti. Ben and Moti here. It looked like Ben was the main competitor on Roman Arena. But the points that Moti have just scoured up through tracks and tracks and tracks. And now here on the last one, Moti BK only have cognition. He's got a chance. He can come around Ben here. And if Ben gets third, if Jeff gets back up here, Moti wins. Actually, I think, no, if Ben and Moti swap places here, that's just it. I think Moti wins. There is a 7.5 points deficit here. 8 points is the difference. I think if Moti beats Ben on this track, I think Moti wins by half a point. Those are the stakes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that you know that, in the chat, I want to see your prediction. I want to see your prediction. Do you think Ben will maintain his lead here on Fantastic Alien Sea and win the overall? Or do you think Moti will complete a fantastic comeback that started on Roman Arena and could finish here on Fantastic Alien Sea? Or will you go for option 3, which is Casey somehow miraculously comes back from further down and takes the victory? Moti using a questionable corner caber there on the second lap to make sure he doesn't crash. Luis in the chat says, let's go Moti. Tim says, Casey. Super. Nils has Nils, we need a civil blocker article just on Fake P. There seems to be this Fake P guy. He seems to always show up in mass, but he never shows his face. Like, I want to know, who is Fake P? Where are they coming from? What's their history? What trainer are they on? What's their preferred power-up? I want to know. I hope the civil blocker is on the case. Carl Axel Sander joining his teammate Jeff Rooney. Yeah, Nils in the chat seems to agree with me that he should have saved his corner caber. Interesting use of corner caber there. We'll hear from Moti later on what his thoughts are as they're coming back up, but I'm not sure if Casey's still in the chat or in the stream or not. We can see his screen. But Casey's coming back. Regardless of what's happening, Casey is coming back. He's only 7.5 points down. He needs to catch Nigel. He needs to catch Jeff. And I think he's back in the money here. Nigel is further up the road. So he's left the Butt Patrol and joined the Velocity Vixen Patrol. We'll see which one is better, but Nigel can always be found on the back, as he is here currently. Carl, Jeff, Nigel make up this group. Sebastian is riding into 4th place ahead of Carl. He's working, and now Moti, the gap is 12 seconds. He's at 179. I'm not sure if he's thinking about waiting for Sebastian here or not. The gap is 20 seconds. That does seem like that would be tough to make up with the real estate left to race. Ben on the front, in the meanwhile, has masked a gap of 13 seconds. But we saw in Dark Matter Velo, he was leading for what seems to be, 90% of the race, 92% of the race, and then come to the end on the 8th lap, the final lap, he crashes down. He's been leading for a lap and a half now. We're almost coming to the last lap. Can he go through an entire race without putting his feet on the ground here? As we'll see what's going to happen here. Quentin says, excuse me, not interfering with the written media. Timothy asked, did Ben use his corner caber at the start? Yes, he did. He attacked with Frank Garcia in the beginning here. As Neil says, my PayPal is always open for questionable funding. Well, with the amount of money the civil blogger raised throughout the CVRcade World Cup, I am sure there are plenty of opportunities awaiting just around the corner. As Moti is trying to get back to Ben. He's trying everything he's got. 10 seconds is the gap. Neither of them have a corner caber left, which is massive here as Moti are using the straightaway to try and attack on through. Side-by-side screen here. We're at the halfway point in the race. 3.6 kilometers remain. On the left-hand side, you can see all the Omnia. Moti, I think Moti's trying to do the Aaron Starlin, but with knocking on the door next door, we'll give that one a 7 on the execution. We'll give it a 2 on the originality score here, as Aaron gets a 10 in both, but nice try from Moti. That's also majorly psyching out your opponent. If Ben is watching and seeing it and sees that the guy chasing him has the composure and the stamina to be making jokes at him midstream, I would probably be thinking, this last lap, it's gonna hurt. But Casey is back! Casey is back in the lead. He's passed the Velocity Vixen Patrol. Goodbye to Nigel, goodbye to Carl, goodbye to Jeff, and he's now in the lead. He's leading by 2.5 points. So, and Moti goes down! Maybe spending all that time thinking about what funny joke should I do side by side could have been spent looking at the corner speed. As Ben will go on through with a 20-second gap to second place. I think it's going to be very difficult to catch him back, but it's only going to be enough for second place unless Nigel, Carl, Homer, Jeff, they can come together here and catch Casey. As Sebastian uses his power-ups. He uses Corner Caber and Razor's Edge. He's trying to get away from Casey and trying to get back up to Moti B. Kelney here. He's got to be careful. He doesn't slide out. He slows down. He comes on through. He doesn't crash. Now, Carl, we've just seen Nigel crash from Velocity Vixen. Carl's, every time we cut to Carl, he seems to be wiping the sweat off his face. As this time the wristbands didn't cut it, so he went to his towel, but it does get sweaty out on track. The downstairs bicycle that I rode this morning can definitely attest to that. But Moti and Sebastian working together. Casey at this point, though, I'm sure he's just looking at the overall, knowing that the stage win is out of the question. And so Casey is thinking, maintain 4th place, maintain it, and if I stay here, I've got a chance to come on through, and I'll take the overall victory here in Zone K. As Sebastian goes on through, Moti having a bit of technical difficulties, and Sebastian Kuhn goes on without his team. I'm not sure what happened to Moti. We've seen him break the belt before. No, not the one around his waist, but the one on his kicker. That was due to pure power. It comes back. I know in the past, we've seen Kayla Laguna get slingshot on Temple Run as the power comes back when you get a dropout. And he comes back, he goes up to 49, 51 kilometers an hour. So he does get that slingshot effect from the power lost doing the dropout. So Casey gets close, but then he gets dropped. Now, Homer is 18 seconds back. We have 1.5 kilometers to go here. Homer is fighting it. He's working hard. He's 17 seconds. He is the only rider left who can catch Casey and perhaps change up the overall. Because if we bring it down, you'll see that Casey Shum 1.5 points ahead of Ben Shuilong. That was lost on Dark Matter Vela. That seems to be the case, but good racing all around here. Homer's fighting on through. Ben has ridden a flawless race, and I think there's a lot to talk about from this Fantastic Alien Sea in terms of meta. Now, the way that the CVRcade racing happens, it's very, very rigid for a while, then somebody comes in and totally reinvents the wheel, then it gets a bit rigid, then somebody comes in and reinvents the wheel. I think Frank Garcia and Ben may have somewhat reinvented Fantastic Alien Sea with using their corner caper, Racer's Edge, and their weight lifted on the first corner. That is not something we ever see, at least executed well here in Fantastic Alien Sea. And so with Ben, with that gap, with the victory in the bank, second place on the podium can be good, but Casey Shum overcoming technical difficulties, overcoming, that early crash on Dark Matter Velo, overcoming a crash here on Fantastic Alien Sea. That is a victory he can be proud of. As Moti's got to be careful. Casey 4 seconds back. You'd think Casey may be able to get back up here, but the gap's going the wrong direction. 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Homer with a corner caper as well. He may have fat fingered that one as he's corner capering here on arguably the straightest piece of road in entirety of Fantastic Alien Sea. But he'll get back on. He'll try and make the move. But Ben Shuilong on Victory Boulevard Avenue, Street of Dreams here. Ben Shuilong can take the victory on Fantastic Alien Sea and will secure his second place. He's happy with that one. Sebastian Kuhn now going to come to the finish line. Take a great fourth place in the overall, and second here. There's no way he can help Moti catch up. Moti versus Casey, 5 seconds is the difference. Neither have a corner caper as Casey goes down. You could see it in the rear view mirror. Now, remember, we're racing again in 5 minutes. Sebastian waits for Moti to come on through, as it doesn't really change the scoring here. Got close enough, good effort. Casey next up, as you can see him crossing the finish line. He can have his victory, and then Homer Thompson will be next over the line as well. Jeff and Nigel here. We're having a good finish between the two of them, side by side. Nigel versus Jeff. This is for the bracken rides when they are putting another shrimp on the barbie, as Nigel and Jeff come on through here. Good racing. Carl Axel Sander will be next up off the streamers to finish, as he's got one of the most questionable setups in CVRcade racing. It's called the dual setup. You've got your keyboard on the top and the monitor down below. It is for ultimate stretching purposes. Now, let's see the instant replay again. Now, Homer, with his corner caper, with his racer's edge here at the top. Ben can cross the finish line as well. So the overall score at the end of this, it's Casey winning it. Then you've got Ben coming second, Moti coming third, Sebastian coming fourth, as we wait for the next few riders crossing the finish line. Good racing all around here. Really stacked Omnium, as everybody gave it their all. Nobody wanted to give up easy, especially Casey Shum, to get back like that. That is something that takes courage. And if I'd go talk to him, he is back. Casey, I'm glad to have you back in here. Fantastic Alien Sea. That was a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm not smiling anymore. That was ugly. That was a good finish. I finally got the leaderboard up and could see I had to pass a few guys to stay in first, so I pushed. But a lot of unfortunate circumstances, a little frustrating. But that block was rough. I got hammered by a block at the same time that I was trying to sort my machine out, so that really hurt. And yeah, so I had to switch my cameras. I had to kill everything on my machine. So I think we're stable now, hopefully.
I'm not sure why it's happening to you, but hopefully it'll be stable. I know you're doing the next, so congratulations, Casey.
Yeah.
I mean, what you overcome in that last Omnium with technical difficulties and crashes, that's why you're cut above the rest. Congratulations. Now, Ben, you celebrated that victory on Fantastic Alien Sea like you've just won the World Cup for England.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was just super pleased. I think there's just something about just leading the whole race from start to finish, which is just immensely satisfying. So yeah, so it was good. I just thought I'd follow Frank's lead really, and I almost lost it actually whilst doing so. Luckily, I pressed corner caper just as I was about to slide off the track, so that was close. But yeah, just went for it. Legs felt good, so I just thought I'd attack and try and keep that gap to Moti, just match his speed and match his power. So yeah, so that worked well. And then yeah, he crashed. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but after that, it was I took it a bit easier on the last lap.
One crash away on Dark Matter Vela from winning the overall. Don't go to sleep on that tonight when you think you've got another chance here on Zone L. Good luck, Ben, in this race. But Moti, that was a good effort. I want to ask you about your corner caper, because when you used it, the chat was thinking, what are you thinking? What were you thinking?
I was going to try to hold about 20 kilometers an hour faster through that final turn and maybe catch back up to Ben, force him to play cat and mouse, maybe bring back Sebastian, but it wasn't, looking at our equalized heart rates, it wasn't going to work with me letting him stay out ahead. And I tried to catch at that spot, didn't make it, and then was trying to push it on the descent and just barely was over speed the second time down. And it was sort of written in the books by then. But good racing, amazing comeback by Casey. You know, Sebastian tried to help me right when he came through to give me a pull. I had a dropout. I think somebody used the microwave upstairs, which is forbidden while racing. And but you know, no excuses. I could have made some better choices, but we get to do it again right now, so I'm excited.
Well, when you want a hot pocket, you want a hot pocket. I can't blame anyone for that. Good luck in the next race. Moti, final word before we get racing again. Nigel, how sweet was it to beat Jeff Rooney on the finish line?
Oh, yeah, didn't really matter. But, you know, I'm competitive, so I'll go for it at the end, even if they are, you know, even if it's against somebody on the same team. Neither of our points really mattered. I don't think neither of us were in the points. If Jeff had been in the points, I would have just sat back.
Well, Jeff is here. Let's quickly turn on his audio. Jeff, do you believe that, or do you think it was just about beating you?
Oh, a bit of both. Got to flex his muscles on the new team. So,
I love it. I'm glad you two are teammates. I think it'll be fun to watch. Thank you for getting on the stream here, Jeff, and joining us in Zone L. As Zone L gets underway in 15 seconds, we've got more racing here. Can we possibly top the excitement that was on display in Zone K? I think so. Now, I have mad respect for anyone doing two zones, because I raced for the first time in like 3 months this morning, and the idea of getting back on and doing a second zone, these like guys and girls, they're just cut of a different cloth. Like when they can get back on and they're like, yeah, so what, it's just impressive. Now the last zone, Casey Shum took the victory here in Electric Rush. Well-timed attack, photo finish. You could not tell who crossed the line first without the instant replay and the great Omnium scoring scoreboard in the game. I remind you that we're doing the same races again with a few different racers. So we've got Electric Rush up first, and we got Roman Arena, not a chance at Dark Matter Velo, and then last but not least, we'll finish on Fantastic Alien Sea. Casey Shum already letting go of the front group a tiny bit, using his comeback kit just to get back on. Now, it's a power-up you don't always have to use at the finale if you see yourself just losing the draft, because it is a smaller pack here in the second zone. You can use that comeback kit just to get back on terms with the riders ahead. I do see that Luis Soberanese, who is in the chat, who is also in the game, is using his comeback kit to get back to the bot patrol. Now, in the previous zone, Ben Shuilon came second. He was only 1.5 points off the top spot. Does he have what it takes to get that spot? Does he have what it takes to really dig deep for a second zone in a row? You've got 5 more laps of Roman Arena to do after this sprint. How much does that lay in the back of their minds? Nigel Doyle is back for more racing here. He's ditched the bot patrol and he's ready to race. Homer Thompson, Team Cognition, he is ready as the hair is blowing in the wind. You just need the Baywatch soundtrack and we're all good here as we're on the final lap. Who's going to go? Nigel Doyle with another early attack. 1,000 equalized watts. We've never seen Nigel Doyle dig this deep before. Ben is there. Jeff is there. But we stay on Nigel. The finish is coming up here. One more turn. Can Nigel Doyle keep Jeff Moti away? Oh, if he gets beat by Jeff on the line, they will never hear the end of it. We're waiting, we're waiting. Nigel takes the victory ahead of Jeff Rooney, Moti Mikelny, as that celebration is epic. Let's see the instant replay. Nigel Doyle with a last lap attack. He attacked for the entirety of the lap. I think that is a playbook, a page out of Peter Castro's playbook on this track. Never letting up, just 1,000 equalized watts all the way through, and it's just so grindy. We've never seen Nigel Doyle dig this deep before in a low skill event in the CVRcade World Cup run-up. That is excellent, Nigel. And then Jeff with his comeback kit. He almost gets there. 1,400 equalized watts. He's just inching closer and closer and closer. And I think Nigel's screaming no. We'll get confirmation on that as Jeff crossed the finish line. Nigel, what did you scream as you crossed the finish line?
Oh, that was just a roar. It was just, that was just me. That was everything I've got in the tank. I thought Jeff had got me there on the line, so, oh man.
That was good. Now, what do you have to say to the fact that Sebastian Kuhn, your previous teammate, says Aussie power in the chat?
I think he's got it wrong. Yeah, our flag and the Australian flag look very similar. That's why we've been trying to change our flag. They get mixed up.
That's okay. They can just put a face of either you or Jeff Rooney as you're both national treasures, and it'll be all fine. Everyone would know. Congratulations, Jeff. Let's go to Jeff. Nigel, sorry. Let's go to Jeff here because, Jeff, that sprint, man. You got so close and 1,400 equalized watts. Talk me through it.
9/1000th of a second.
9/1000. You've got to try harder, Jeff. You've got to try harder.
On zone 2, there's no more harder left. I'm racing a second Omnium.
No excuses.
I got plenty of them. Saved them up. Got a list in front of me ready, so when you're asking questions, I've got all excuses there.
I like it. I like it. That is something I can respect. Jeff, good second place in that race. Roman Arena coming up here. What's it like to have Carl back, to have Nigel on the team, to have Beth, to have Ryan? I mean, the team is really getting vast.
Yeah, we can actually start thinking about gameplays. That's what we're doing in Zone K. We're just having a bit of a play, a bit of experiment. Some things work, some don't. But now's the time to do all the testing, isn't it?
That is very true.
Cycling Hub, watch out.
You heard it here first. Jeff Rooney issuing a challenge. That is very dangerous when it's Team Cycling Hub you're up against. Let's hear the last words here from Homer Thompson before we get racing. Homer, it's the second zone of the day. Have the legs started screaming to you yet, or is there still more energy left?
No, my legs are screaming.
What do you scream back to your legs? When your legs are screaming at you, what do you scream back?
You know, the old cliche, shut up legs, pedal.
Well, we'll see how loudly you can scream that. Homer, it's good to have you racing here. You and Moti are flying the flag. Is this going to be your race? Is it going to be a Homer Thompson special?
You know, I only wish I could accommodate you and say yes, Jesper, but I'm concerned.
Well, that is something that we'll keep to the side, Homer, and then we'll see you win at the end. That'll be a playbook from Sebastian Kuhn. I like it. Good luck in this next race, Homer, as we get ready for 5 laps of Roman Arena. Last time up, it was Casey Shum who went on to win the race here. So he was just at the very end there. He was checking his power-ups. It's a very sneaky little thing you can do when you enter a race during the warm-up session, is that you can click every button just to see what power-ups you have available and how many of which power-ups you have available. That way, because you get them back once the racing begins. As Casey, also what you saw there at the beginning of the race is that he went all the way to the right. He went all the way to the right before pedaling, and sometimes that can work out, sometimes it cannot. You see it here. He chose to go all the way right and then starting pedaling instead of pedaling and then dig 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So different strategies, different things being played out. In the grand scheme of things, they may not matter as much, but sometimes those small decisions do matter. I'm not sure we've actually got, I think Jennifer may have jumped off the stream, but she is, let's see. No, she's still here. Jennifer's back in the racing. She took a break from Electric Rush. She's attempting 2 zones here, which I think may be the very first time. Wait, let's turn on the audio. What do you say?
Oh, you're going to hear my music. Awesome. Just doing this one race to help out Ben a little.
Wait, what is that music?
It's a party song. It's good shit.
Wait, what'd you say? I could not hear you over the loud music. I know this is cruel.
But it might not happen.
That's fine, I'll let you focus. 196 on the front, answering questions, playing loud music. Chat, if anyone here can decipher those words, we'll hand out 10 Jesper points to the chat. as Jennifer back for one more race. They attempted this in the last zone. Ben and Jennifer attacking away on the front, and it's good to see. You can see the colors, you can see Cognition in the blue on the left, you've got Homer and Moti linked up, then you've got Nigel and Jeff on the inside linked up, as well as we're going to see Casey winning the first Omnium, but so far he's just trailing off the back a tiny bit here. Wondering if he's just saving energy again. Luis is in there on a keyboard, which is something you can do if you're interested in trying it out. Jennifer Garcia now with wind at her back and weight lifted. She was at 196. She gets over the top. Ben is on the front and she sits further back down. As currently looking on the scoreboard, it is Ben Shuilong leading with Jeff Rooney. Sorry, that's just changed. With Jeff, it's changing right now as they're moving out in the position. But Jeff, Nigel, and Ben are making up the top spots. And then you've got Homer. Now, we're used to hearing from Cognition riders, especially Sebastian Kuhn. Oh, my legs are hurting. I'm dead. I get back on. I was thinking because we've seen Homer pick up a tip or two from his teammate Jonathan Heron, the Blockhead Rocket. So you never know if he's been picking up some more from his other teammate, that is Jonathan Heron, the Blockhead Rocket. As Jennifer takes it back up. So every team here on the front seems to be linked up. You've got Jeff and Nigel on the right here if we look from the helicopter. You got Homer, sorry, that's Luis on the keyboard. Luis and Moti, Casey on the back here as he now goes to the front. And this is what he does so well. Applying the pressure when you need to see who's got the legs and just tire them out. Lap after lap after lap. Just slowly sap out all the energy until that battery is flat and you need a jump start. But Nigel, I like the racing from Nigel. It's clever because in the previous zone we went to him when he was working with the bot patrol. He was saying, I'm just going to stay here. I'm doing 2 zones today. I'm going to pick my battles. And it seems to be that Nigel Doyle, now that he won the first race by 9,000ths of a second, Jeff, you should have tried harder, but Nigel winning that first race, so you get the thumbs up from Nigel, winning that first race has probably given a bit of motivation. It's much more fun when you're in the lead than when you are chasing from further back down. Ben, here in 5th. He's in there. He's back-to-back zones. What are the legs saying to you? You've got to figure that out. You've got to dig deep because this place is the toughest place to be. You heard Jennifer say it in the last zone. Right there, when there's like 1 second, 2 seconds to the front. It's actually tougher being 2 seconds off the front than being 20 seconds because you've got to work really hard to close down those last 2 seconds. As Homer here, path of least resistance. He's got to be careful he doesn't crash out as he's grinding away. He's working. I'm loving the kit, by the way, Homer. It's awesome to see as he is just about to cross the finish line for the first of 5 times. And currently Homer is thinking to himself, I've got to do this another 4 times. But he can power on through. Ben's made it back. Only rider without a draft currently is Luis. But something tells me Luis can do without a draft. Now, I know he's been ill. I know he's sitting by his keyboard. I think Luis is just sitting on the side here. Like, oh, he makes his leader crash. Oh, bringing up the replay there. I think that was Luis who just made Moti crash. If that's so, that is a Cognition special. As Luis on the left-hand side, Moti on the inside. Moti takes 1 turn left. Oh, it's Nigel. It's Nigel. It's not Luis. There is peace at the dinner table. No worries. We found the culprit. It was Nigel's wheel who Moti overlapped with. He gets back on. So Nigel causing a mistake from Moti Pikelny there. So Nigel won Zone T on Thursday. Could he be winning the last zone of the week here? Zone L on a Saturday. I'm sure that the majority of these guys, once Zone L finishes, they know Vikings play the 49ers after this. They're all thinking, how do we get to that? Or is that just me? But gotta love playoffs NFL football. Almost as good as the CVRcade World Cup, but only almost. As Casey finds himself on the back here of Nigel. I like the way, I've said it before today, I like the way Casey races. He just has this way of saving energy, which is really the name of the game. Like, this is a physical esport, it's a physical sport, which means you kind of have to power the avatar. Well, oh, Nigel, what was that? Path of least resistance just before the corner ends, and from from being at the top, from looking fresh, from looking good, having spent an entire lap, or sorry, entire Omnium with the bot patrol, Nigel Doyle goes down. If we've got it on the replay, and so I'm not sure again if that's a fat finger, if it's a wrong button, but it's a path of least resistance before the turn is over, and one of the favorites in the front group goes down, and he's joined by his Kiwi brother Jeff Rooney, who is rocking that awesome CVRcade World Cup shirt. I can definitely recommend that one from the hardware store if you want to get it. So Jeff's working with it. Homer down with the bots. He's finding Hetty. He's just wishing for the draft. Come back here, Hetty, as Homer has to put in the power. He's been working hard as well. Now, on the front, Moti, Casey, Ben, and Louise. Now, how much is Louise going to interfere? Because I think by the fact that Luis is even here, if I understand the drafting dynamics correctly, he's actually giving a bit of draft to Ben when he's close to him. So regardless, he's in here, he's working, he's on a keyboard, which you can totally do, anyone can do it. How much is he going to help? How much is he going to play a role? Or is he just, you know, like in the pit stop in Formula 1, you've got your person speaking to the driver? Who knows? Only Cognition knows. Now, Ben, Casey, and Moti on the front. Casey has been here before. He has won it. As I see, we've got FOG in the chat saying, that was brutal. Wait, what? Jennifer doing the double? Yeah, I know, right? I heard Jennifer is doing the entire Omnium as well. As I say that, I do see she's jumped off the bike, so maybe not, but you never know. Mott KG says Jesper and his football. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. There are few things as closely to be good of the CVRcade World Cup as American football, especially the playoffs. Now, Nigel is getting back in. His crash hasn't really been that bad, but he's working on to see. Nils, thank you for always making the chat fun. Wherever you go, man, you light up the chat. Thank you so much. Now, Nigel made the crash with path of least resistance, and he'll know. And maybe that puts some, you know, some timber on the fire, some logs on the fire, maybe fueling him a tiny bit. Because when you make a mistake like that, did you know, like fundamentally you shouldn't make, you sometimes come back a bit stronger thinking, okay, time to buckle down and go to work. Let's do it here. As Nigel forcing Casey up against the boards, then disregards that, goes to the inside here. Casey can be relieved there as Nigel seems to be wanting to work together. Now, throughout the week, Casey has kind of been playing the enforcer. He's been saving his energy. He's been holding people back, especially, I mean, if Alison Kubota was here, I think she might get the fishhook out and try and pull Casey off the road as she got the heavy end of the stick. But Casey's here, Nigel's there. Now, Moti on the front. Does Casey rely on Nigel to close this gap? Because Moti sees this opportunity. He knows how much these points matter in the grand scheme of things. It was like 1.5 points in the previous zone. That's the difference between winning and getting second place. I see Lucky Taurus is back. Hey Lucky, thanks for coming back into the stream. What is your favorite GIF, Lucky? Hit us up with your favorite GIF in the chat, as Casey no longer wants to rely on Nigel Doyle to bring back the gap. He doesn't want to rely on Nigel, and Nigel maybe playing his cards right there, maybe saying, you know what, Casey, it's time you did something on the front. I can't remember, I think it was Ben who asked when Casey was going to do a turn on the front, and Casey says when he sees the checkered flag. It could be another one of those situations where you got to wait until the checkered flag for Casey to go to the front. But how do you beat a person as strong as Casey when he's just sitting back? As Lucky Taurus says, thank you. Sorry, I've been busy watching Liverpool. My favorite one is this one. We're all waiting in anticipation, Lucky Taurus. Well, I'm glad you're a Liverpool fan because they're doing quite well. As Moti goes down. Oh, lucky Taurus, you made me miss that. Shame on you. Did we have that on the instant replay? We do, as we bring it up. Moti, second time today on Roman Arena, makes the mistake. It's him there, and then it's Nigel on the right. Does he go left or right here? We see Moti in the middle. He's in the middle. He goes right. And again, it is Nigel Doyle who's the Achilles heel for Moti P. Kelney twice. Has he hit the back of Nigel Doyle to crash down? Does Nigel Doyle have some sort of magnet attracting Moti P. Kelney to him? Don't know. Keep an eye out as we do some more research, as twice today Nigel has forced a mistake out of Moti P. Kelney. I thought it was fascinating that Moti also mentioned that the fatigue, the rustiness of not being on the platform for a while is something you need to shake off. So seeing that here today, definitely on display. Two very uncharacteristic crashes of the Team Cognition team leader. So we'll see if he can make it back up. Second crash is tough to get back on. Quentin says, Nigel, you naughty boy. Good to see the chat's loving it. I mean, that is a part of the gameplay mechanics. So I don't think we've seen Casey use any power-ups yet. And I think we could see him later on try and use them. Now, I am fascinated what's on Casey's desk here, if we can try and decipher. I think there's like a Nintendo color on the right, and then there's rice cakes, I think that is, on the left. We'll see. We'll make. Then there's a Wahoo Element Bolt. I'm most fascinated by the Nintendo color on the right. Looks like it's got Pokemon Red or maybe Gold in there. So yeah, that definitely. That's not a phone. There's no way. Oh, it's a remote. It's a remote. That's what it is. See, to me, that just looks like a Nintendo color or Game Boy, whatever they're called. I forget what they're called. Anyway, I digress. But back to the racing as we played our daily doses of what's on Casey Shum's desk. Ben's feeling a bit of the hurt here. He's at 500 equalized watts. This is where, when you really dug deep, like for him to win Fantastic Alien C by 20 seconds, you saw the celebration on his face, you saw what it meant to him, but he also paid with it with his efforts. Now he's got to get ready for more attack here, so we'll see. Sebastian Kuhn, who thought Nigel Doyle and Jeff were Australian, says, "We can win with crashes. Team Cycling can only win without." See, Seb, I'm not sure that's a diss. I'm not sure that is a successful diss. I will give you points for trying, because I think it means well, but I think that is one of those questionable comments. But I love it, Seb. We love you. It's good to have you in the chat. Good to have you racing two zones today as the side-by-side. Casey on the right, Ben on the left. Now, Nigel Doyle is still here. He's crashed twice, and he is in this front group. Now, I think he only crashed once, but what about Moti P. Kelney? Can he get back? Now, how much help is he going to get from his teammates? Because Homer Thompson is there. Homer and Moti, Team Cognition, one of the first teams formed on the platform. Homer jumping ship from CCC. Ben jumping ship from CCC, it seems like, as well. And then you've also got Nigel Doyle, CCC, Collapsing Cycling Team squad. Or I can't even remember what it was. Club, that was the name at the end. That is the last C, not CCT or CCS. As MuttKG nicely puts in the chat, all our social media channels. Make sure, especially, head over to CVRcade Riders. That is the place to be. But Homer Thompson giving it his everything, putting his hat in the, putting his name in the hat for Teammate of the Day award here as he is attacking away. Neil says Jesper obviously hasn't read the civil blocker. I did read the civil blocker. I particularly like the bottom left-hand corner. I think it said talk show something written media. I can't remember what it said. It was funny. It was funny, Nils. I always laugh reading the civil blocker. It's a personal highlight every time you guys post. Now, Jeff Rooney is enjoying his time. He's thinking, he may be hearing, is that dinner calling from the outside? Is that outside the container? It seems to be. Now, Beth was here. She'd be like, well, pepperoni pizza? Is it a margarita? What could it be at this time of day? You can see Jeff has turned a bit red. I'm not sure if it's from the the blushingness, or it's just the sheer effort that's been put on the line. Moti is coming back though. Moti, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. We've got a lap and a tiny bit left. As Nils says, C can't even quote it. Nils, it's tough to quote everything. When every line is a banger, it's tough to quote any line. When everything stands out, nothing stands out, which is just a testament to the quality. So I do apologize for not being able to pick out anything. I did like the image, the quotation that was in there. I will give you credit on that one. So we head back to the front. Nigel 400, Casey 800. We've got 4 kilometers left, and we'll come to the end of Roman Arena. After this, we're going to Dark Matter Velo, 8 laps, and we'll finish on Fantastic Alien Sea. But what we're seeing is Ben just seems to be tiny bit below the rest when it comes to freshness. His legs are heavier. He's cycling around with lead. He's at 157 heart rate, but it may just be that his pacemaker has run out at this point as he's trying to get back into Nigel. He looks down. He's thinking, what is this? Either wanting more power or wanting more beats for his heart rate. Both could be good. As Mark KG says, the civil blocker, it is hilarious. Wait, Quentin says, and that's why we get mentioned less. Too much quality in team cycling to choose from. That is the case, Quentin. Like, when you win everything, when you win every single week, the wins mean less and less and less. But when somebody comes through from the ranks and gets a win, it is more special, if you don't understand what I mean. So sometimes perhaps it may seem like it doesn't matter. Of course, you guys are dominant. But when somebody who, let's say Homer, when he won Zone T on the first Tuesday back, that is insane. Homer Thompson to come on through, who's been just there, but waiting to get his breakthrough. That is why sometimes, and I do apologize if it feels that way, it's just the law. I mean, it's the way that the Lakers went through it, the Celtics went through it, the Patriots have gone through it. It's just when you are that strong, people have certain expectations as we come to the final lap of racing here on Roman Arena. Ben has come back one more time. 6 seconds back is Homer Thompson and Moti Bikelny. They could come back as well, but Casey still has the majority of his power-ups. Nigel's used a few of his. Ben has used a few of his, I believe. Moti, I think, also have used a few of his, especially the wind that is back, but he's not going to give up without trying. But this is where it gets rough. You can see them just up there at the top, just trying to get away. Can he get back? Can him and Homer work together to close down the gap here to try and find the move? It's going to be tough. He is there. He's working. He comes around here as Homer Thompson is trying for the home run here. Can he get it? 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Homer giving everything for his teammate. But then, even if they come back, could that be the end of them? Because you've got to have the power. I would assume if they make contact, which looks like they will be landing on Mars any second here, I think Casey Shaw may just go right over the top. I could see Casey reacting to this move as soon as they get back on and thinking, this is my time to shine. He's at 184 though. Ben's at 174. They're back and they come right on through. Moti on the left, Homer on the right. Excellent, excellent teamwork here from Cognition. But how much power is left in the tank? Roman Arena, the last long race of the day here. We've had Zone E, we've had Zone K, and we're in the middle of Zone L. Homer Thompson with a weight lifted on the front. He's sitting at 400 equalized watts, and he's just keeping the pace high. Luis way back on his keyboard saying, guys, come back, wait for me, I'm here too. But Casey hasn't gone quite yet. He's waiting. He's sitting in there. Luis says, man, Homer is a beast. Yes, he is the beast master is what he is. No man has got as much energy, positive attitude, and strength as Homer Thompson. He uses wind at his back here to try and get away. And he does have a tiny bit of a gap. Nigel Doyle moves to the right. Casey Shum is in fourth. You've got Moti in fifth. Ben uses wind at his back. This time, not saving it for the end. How much is he going to commit? He comes around Homer. He's got to be careful he doesn't crash in this corner, but he stays upright. As Mutt KG says, Homer has been killing it. But speaking of killing it, Ben Shuilong has a 3-second gap, and all eyes go back to Casey Shum, the winner of the last zone. He's been sitting idle. When is his binary going to turn on? When is he going to, put in everything for one attack? There he goes, on the left again. Weight lifted, wind at his back. The acceleration into the climb here, he's at 59. He's almost like he's got an inertia in the bank, but he does not. He's got his legs. 2 seconds, 1 second. He's got 6 kilometers an hour quicker than Ben, but this time they are together here as they crest the top of Roman Arena. But no, Ben does not execute the block, and Casey at 201 again. It is deja vu, ladies and gentlemen. We are not back here now. We're back to before. So Casey comes over the top. This is almost the exact same scenario with Moti in third. We're just missing Jennifer and Frank Garcia in between. 500 meters left. Casey takes the opportunity to rest into the corner, bringing down the heart rate, and then he gets ready to attack again here over the top. Will it be Casey? Will it be Ben? 1,000 equalized watts as Ben still has a weight lifted. It is all or nothing time. You've got to send it if you want to go onto the top of the podium. The gap's coming down. The time is the speed differential is 3 kilometers an hour, but it could be too little, too late. Casey with the mouth wide open. Ben doesn't have it. Casey wins. Ben gets second, not for the lack of trying. Further down, the fight is on. Moti versus Nigel. Nigel, can he come back? No. Roman Arena is Moti's arena for the day. He wins it. Homer, I mean, there's only one thing you can do to Homer, and that is tip your fedora, because what he did here is he comes to a complete standstill. He emptied the tank. Now, Jeff, there's got to be one butt patrol leader of the day. He's got Hurdy, he's got 80, he's got them in line, and he is just shepherding his sheep here as reeling in the fish almost. Maybe a trout, maybe a bass. You never know, could be a bit of salmon. That always tastes nice. Now, Dark Matavella's up next, but before that, let's load up the instant replay. Ben got so close, and with the weight lifted, what could have been? What could have been? Again, saving a power for the sprint. Maybe you use that before Casey Shum gets a 3-second lead, and you've got a heads-up sprint. Great, though, nonetheless. Casey Shum, how does he do it? Once more, just has that bit more in the tank. As you can see, the two of them, both of them just throwing their shoulders into this. You'd be surprised they don't rip their arms off as they give it everything. Ben sits up, Casey breathes out. But again, Casey, 200 equalized heart rate. That almost felt like deja vu. I mean, I felt like I'd seen that before.
Yeah, that one was harder, actually. Kudos to Ben. We really played the end the same way. What I did different is I used the weight on the hill with the wind, and then I hit another weight lifted at the top of the hill to accelerate off the hill, and that's where I slung shot around him. But I mean, it was a toss up there. He was coming. If he had a little more kick in him, I was giving up because it was close.
Your strategy of attacking on the hill, you go all the way to the left before it. Is there a reason you do so?
I'm just trying to get out of the lanes, and hopefully the guys are all out of the saddle and not able to change lanes to block me. That's really just trying to get away from a block. Get as many lanes between me and the competitors as possible.
That does make sense. Congratulations, Casey. I'll let you catch your breath. Now, Ben, this time you didn't save your wind at your back, but you saved your weight lifted. What was the mindset behind that?
There wasn't much of a mindset. I think I managed to save power-ups until quite late. So, you know, I used sort of 3 in the last lap or something, 3 or 4. So, yeah, that was fun, you know, like because I was, you know, Jennifer gave me a helping hand at the start and then she peeled off. So, because I was on my own, I played it a little bit more in the wheels. I didn't stay on the front as much as I did before. Yeah, it was good fun, you know, we were all jostling for position. That was really good race dynamics. And fair play to Casey, you know, he's just can sprint and attack repeatedly. So Yeah, that was a good race.
That was excellent racing. We're coming up to the next race here, which Moti Pikelny won last time. But Moti, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate Nigel Doyle right now?
Oh, that was a close sprint. He really was coming on strong, but biggest shout out in that race goes to Homer, who pulled me back after that second crash for like 11 minutes to the front group and let me finish ahead, way ahead of where I would have been solo. It was a really good cooperative effort, and Homer put in a huge turn. You know, we were coming through the banner, and he said he didn't have much left, and to go for it and catch that lead group if I could, we had about a 5-second gap, and I had nothing left, and he just kept going for another 3 minutes and shut it down for me. So that was awesome.
Well, this time, the last time you won this track, we'll see if you can do it again, Moti. Good luck. 10 seconds remaining. I'll let you get focused. Nigel last time did force 2 mistakes out of Moti. He sits in second, only 9 points behind Casey Shum. This could be his. He's been getting better on Dark Matter Val. Distance for this race is 2.5 kilometers. You'll see it up in the top right hand corner. But Jennifer Garcia is back racing again here. So despite saying she's not going to do the double omnium, she's done half of one. It's Ben and they both go down simultaneously as the double facepalm comes on display for that one. Casey was in the lead. This time, I think he's learned his lesson. It's not 42, it's 32, as he did not crash in the first turn. He's got a 1 second lead on the 2 Australian, Kiwis. I had to, Sebastian, I had to, sorry. I like it. I've made that mistake in the past as well. Double crash, Ben and Jennifer. I think they may have given each other a bit of draft as they fall down. Jeff, no, he is here. Even though you can smell the food being cooked by the house next door, and you know there's that nice dinner waiting for you as soon as you jump off the bike, you gotta think about, you gotta get to the finish line. The quicker you finish the races, the quicker you can eat. I think that's how the majority of people think. And again, KG, I don't mean to bring up food every time, but this time it's Jeff's fault. It's his fault. There's nice dinner cooking next door, oven. You can kind of it's not my fault. We blame Jeff as Nigel comes on through here to the side. Quentin says, Jenna and Ben are clear teammates. In together, out together, down together. That's funny. That's good written. Now, Jeff, Nigel, Casey, they're coming through here. This is a tight little move here. You've got to make the right move as Daniel LeBlanc is in there. Jeff on the inside, and then he goes down. Oh, the smell of food next door just gets the better of him. But it's not going to be his day. As Moti moving up. Casey's lead is dwindling here. 1.4 kilometers remaining. Moti has done this before. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to apply the pressure. It's like a silent office. I'm just going to sit, look at you, and wait at you to open your crisps and then judge you. That's what Moti Pikelny is doing right now. Or is that the movie theater? Anyway, Moti catching back up. Nigel in second. They're all in the same lane. There's a blocky. There's a blocky. They're going to get blocked here, but can Nigel get through? No. Not sure who it was. Casey Shum hit there on the left. Is Jennifer Garcia with the block on every single rider in the top 3. And another double crash. Nigel Doyle and Jeff Rooney, they ride together and they die together as they fall down at the same time. Opening the door for Homer Thompson as he's just riding on the left with his avatar for some reason that is smaller than the rest. Just choosing the outside lane, staying away. Luis on the inside. Moti attempting to catch back up to Casey here with 700 meters remaining. Casey having a 22-point lead. And it looks like Casey Shum is going to take back-to-back omniums here unless another mistake happens, which has happened in the past here before. As Mutt KG says, Frank will have a turkey sandwich, Jennifer will have chipotle, Beth will have peeps, Jesper will have Ebelskivers. Oh my goodness. Can we just have Christmas already? It's only like, what, 49, 51 week? I'm getting punched by the producer here. Can we have Christmas already? I'd like to have Ebelskivers. I'd like to have, you know, all that chocolate, all those candy, all that nice stuff you get for Christmas. Let's just bring it back here Casey has enough time to check his phone. He's seeing his mentions go crazy. All Twitter is like, this Casey Shum guy is awesome. How can we find more? Next you know it, they'll be by his doorstep. 200 meters remain. Moti will take second. Casey will take the win. Nigel will finish ahead of Ben. Then you've got Jeff further down, but Casey Shum, he's got a bit of that. Oh, Ben and Jeff. What is up with double crashes today? But a bit of that Team Cycling Hub magic rubbing off. Casey Shum taking another victory. Moti second. Nigel Doyle, if he can stay upright, will take third spot. It is only about 50 meters left for him. 15 left. Now Homer Thompson will come fourth. He's sitting fifth overall. Jeff in sixth, Luis in seventh, Daniel in eighth, Jennifer in ninth, yet to finish a race. I think that'll change after this one. Ben in sixth coming through. Luis taking some points there on a keyboard. Jeff, Daniel, and then you've got Jennifer who crashed on the final straight just before the finish line. But we've got one more race left, ladies and gentlemen. 3 laps of fantastic Alien C. You've got Racer's Edge, Weightlifted, and Corner Caber. Be interesting to see who is going to try and imitate the Frank Garcia and Ben Shuilong attack earlier on, where they try to get away. That'll be fun to see here as the racing begins. But we'll see. This time without technical difficulties, Casey Shum in the lead. We're going to hear from Casey. Casey, you even had time to check your phone. What was the app of choice? What were you checking?
My teammates are sending me messages cheering me on, so had to give them a little love there at the end, showing the Cycling Hub skills on that course after my bonehead move the first time. So,
well, despite crashing on the first one, you stood there well. You're looking to take a second one here. I mean, it's impressive. It is impressive being outnumbered. But it's not. It is not the clean sweep all the way through. We saw Quinton take it. Is this something that's on your mind going forward?
No, not really. I do need to go back and look. I think I might have swept Zone T at some point in the past, but honestly, it's not the same sometimes, depending on who's on course. So I'd like to do it again for sure. But, well, It pays for who wins the Omnium, not the individual races.
That is very, very true. Good luck here, Casey, and fantastic Alien C. Let's get a word from Nigel Doyle, who crashed with his teammate Jeff in there. Nigel, I thought this was going to be your Omnium. I looked at the stars that were aligned, but what's been going on?
Well, I was doing pretty well on Roman Arena, and then I dropped that path of least resistance power up just slightly too early, just coming into a straight. But the person next to me, there was a person next to me, and they dropped it as well, and I crashed into them, just slid into them and crashed out, and then I burned all my matches and used my power ups, sort of catching back up, and then at the end, they all had, a few of them had power ups, and I had nothing.
That does happen. What's the snack of choice right now? Now that we're on the topic of food, we know Jeff has got something cooking. What did you just eat?
Oh, I've just had a banana.
Oh, that's boring. That's boring. You can do better, Nigel.
I don't know.
Well, for the next
coffee and a pizza.
Well, that sounds good. Well, for the next show and tell, I'll be expecting a better show and a better tell, Nigel. Otherwise, otherwise it's the back of the class. Thanks for being awesome, Nigel. It's good to have you in the stream. Let's get a final word from Ben Shuilong. Ben, the legs must be kind of giving out at this point. First time really doing 2 zones here on a Saturday in 2020?
Absolutely, yeah. Feeling the fatigue, making a couple of silly mistakes, so it is what it is. I'm pleased with the way the legs have felt on the power tracks. I just didn't have the finesse, the DMV in the second Omnium, but no, I'm still having fun, and we'll see. I doubt I'll be doing a big solo break on this one.
Never say never, as a great musician once says. Good luck, Ben, here as we get underway. Fantastic Alien Sea. 3 laps coming up. I see Jennifer Garcia's on the start line again. She did not finish the previous 3 races. Will Fantastic Alien Sea be the one to mark the second Omnium of races here? She's back in. Moti looks to be attempting the Frank Garcia here. Racer's Edge, weight lifted, no corner caper. Casey Shum is there as well. Everybody keeping their corner caper powder dry here. Nobody using that power up yet, but that is a quick start. Jennifer now though, corner caper, Racer's Edge, weight lifted. She powers on through. Her power up combination has been activated, but she gets blocked by Casey. All that momentum, shake of the head. That is next level strategy. Let's bring it up. But you could see that coming. You think Casey, he's got one eye forward, one eye backwards. And when Jennifer pops every single power up, all Casey has to do is go from left to right and from 56 kilometers an hour to 39. Casey Shum putting on the blocks. But now, the overall victory looks to be in Casey's court, but Moti is not far behind. If Casey comes around 5th, 6th here, there is an opportunity to see Casey not take the double. But it's difficult to see. The way Casey is ridden today, he's had panache, he's had calmness, he's had the power required in the situations needed. FOG says, massive boo to Casey. It's funny. I meant musician, I did not mean magician, but anyway, what he's been able to do with his career is magical. Nils says, epic gamer move. I think that was the embodiment of an epic gamer move. Nigel has just lost the touch with the front. He's got 15 points of a deficit on Moti currently. It's a long race. If he can come back, he's got a chance. But it's the second Omnium of 2 here. It's the last race of the day. Last race of the first week of the round-up races. And the run-up races here to the CVRcade World Cup. Ben's fighting his way back. Jeff Rooney sitting on the wheel of Ben Shui Long. Homer Thompson, the rock star of Roman Arena, just fighting to get back on. I know his legs have been saying shut up, or have been screaming at him. He's been saying shut up Lex since the first race. He's got more to give, we all know it, but Casey has got a 2-second gap on the front. Moti's out of the window. Now, in the previous zone, Casey didn't win this one. It was Ben Shui Long with a solo attack. Casey was dealing with some technical difficulties. He made some mistakes. I am sure that not only does he want to win the Omnium, he's going to want to try and win this one. But Jennifer Garcia, despite the block, is back. She has used her power-ups. She's back. She's within 3 seconds here of Casey Shum with 6.3 kilometers left as Nigel making his way back. Moti is up here as well. This is a difficult descent, especially the last few corners. You've got to be aware of the corner speeds. But Casey just seems to be getting away here a tiny bit. Now, Jennifer using her corner caper is a massive difference compared to Casey and Moti, who both kept their corner capers. They used their Racer's Edge, they used the weight lifted, but they kept the corner caper. And why that makes a difference is when you get to the finish line, Casey's shaking his head. Now, the thing about Casey is he may have used it, we didn't catch it, but we definitely think he may not have used it as a double whammy, as now he uses his corner caper. So Racer's Edge, corner caper through here, and that's the difference. The speed he can now carry on. He's at 65, Jennifer's at 35, Moti with his corner caper is at 44, Ben Shui along with his at 53. So everybody, very alternative way of using corner caper today. I'm loving it. I'm loving, innovating. I'm loving the new gameplay. I'm loving the new dynamics and the meta always changing. Good to see here, but it is brutal. They're having to dig deep. Ben here looks like he's barely breathing, so he's got to make sure to, oxygen in, CO2 out. Otherwise, he won't be able to finish, but fighting to get back on terms. He can see Jennifer. He can see Moti Pikelny up here, but way up in the distance, like a firework gone off on New Year's Eve, about to explode. Casey Shum in the sky, shining bright. The way he used Racer's Edge corner caper on the tightest corner on the entire track, on the corner where the speed is the slowest. He accelerated into it, used the corner caper. Instead of waiting for the sprint, instead of waiting for the last possible moment, he took the initiative, he took it upon himself to drop the rest, and by doing so, the gap is now 20 seconds down to the chasing group here as Moti Pikelny, Jennifer Garcia. This could get very close in the overall omnium at the secondary positions, because as you can see now on the left hand side of the screen, Casey has 216, Moti at 186. It's going to take a lot for them to move off the podium, but Nigel, Ben, Homer, Jeff, even Luis, despite being on a keyboard, are within touch of each other. So if they change positions throughout this race, if Ben beats Nigel by 2 spots here, he's got a chance of moving up onto the podium and getting his second podium of the day. But compare the two faces, Moti looks like he's a lot more pain than Casey, but sometimes looks can be deceiving. Now, in third place, it is Jennifer Garcia working with Ben here to try and get the distance. So if the civil blocker is to be believed, they are teammates, and that would mean the opportunity for Nigel is to come, sorry, from Ben from taking over. But no, sorry, my math was incorrect. Ben is still 1 point behind Nigel. Ben would need Daniel LeBlanc. Nigel is currently last. They would need to catch Moti in second place, which is possible, or Daniel LeBlanc to catch back up, which is somewhat unlikely. Jeff, though, with a weight lifted here, halfway through the racing, we're about to come to the crest. He is slamming on those pedals. It's like they've let the bull in the china shop. He is giving it everything here. It's almost like looking in a spin class when they've got the music on, the lights on. They're like, come on. It's almost like we need Beth York's classes in this here as Jeff Rooney. Remember, though, something that is new in 2020 is Beth York and a few other leaders will be running classes on this platform. So if you want to have a great workout and you may not want to race, you've got an opportunity here. So I'm not sure. I think Jennifer might be trying to put a block on Jeff Rooney here to slow him down. But Moti's in second, Nigel in third, Ben still in fourth as Jeff comes on through. But Ben has made contact with Moti. 3 kilometers left. Moti slides out. Oh, they got to be careful. Neither of them go down, though. Both have got big brains. Both have got the knowledge when they come onto the corner here. As I like how Neil says, first mistake, believing the civil blocker. Well, so far, the accuracy has been pretty spot on as Jennifer Garcia goes down, sliding out on a corner. She's all smiles. Been good racing here in the second zone today. Moti, Jeff, and it looks like Ben. They're going to be a good finish here for the second spot, potentially for the first if Casey absolutely blows it. But Casey's not one to bonk. He is one who measures his pace, but he does look a bit fatigued, looks a bit tired here. Second hard hour of the day here, getting in some of the best exercise you can get as Ben now uses a weight lifted. He doesn't want anyone to come back. He needs everything he can get, but he's now past Nigel Doyle. Ben is in third place. Nigel with his corner caper. He needs to catch Louise. He needs to catch Louise, but is it enough if we look at the scoreboard? That's only a 1 point deficit. That is not enough for Nigel Doyle. He needs to catch further up if Ben is to come second. The podium is on the line here. I think Louise might be looking to help out a tiny bit, or not, as Homer Thompson is there too. But Ben on the bell lap, final lap, attacks here on the last incline, trying to get away. This is going to be close now as the energy is running out. Ben wipes the sweat off his face. Moti and Jeff just looking at each other. There's not much to play for either of them except the podium in this individual stage, and they know it. So they're going to be looking at each other. They're going to be thinking, what's the other one feeling? What power-ups do they have left? Moti also has Homer. He has Louise waiting further down. So he might be wanting Homer to come to the front here, who's now using his weight lifted. He's got some acceleration left. Homer just making sure the glasses are on. He's like, am I seeing this? Is the finish in sight? Is there only about 2 kilometers left? Oh, yes, please. Let's just get there. As Homer with another power-up, weightlifted once more. But the undisputed leader on track currently at 194 equalized heart rate. He attacked alone. He attacked on the corner with a razor's edge and corner caper. He's got 20 equalized heart rates higher than Ben Shuilong. He's got a 13-second gap. It's going to be close. They've all used their corner capers, so they don't have that massive acceleration through that last corner. And with 1.2 kilometers to go and cresting the top for the final time today, Casey does not have to do Fantastic Alien Sea Hill more today. He can see the finish line. He knows that Jeff is cooking food. We're all meeting around Jeff's after this. You just got to get to the finish line as Casey nods his head. Jeff, though, he can smell the food as well. Razor's Edge gets deployed here. He's got Moti up. He's swinging ahead. I love Jeff. Jeff on stream is amazing. He's just got this raw power. I mean, I'd be scared if I'm racing with him in real life because he looks like he could just eat you alive. As with 500 equalized watts, he's trying to chase down Moti P. Kelney. We're on the last kilometer of the day. Who's going to take these secondary positions? Empty the tank. Give it all you've got. Ben, currently in third place, ahead of Nigel. Nigel needs to catch a few more riders. Casey can take it easy. With a 20-second gap on Ben Shuilong, he's just got to focus on not crashing here in the final corner of Fantastic Alien Sea. As Quinton Molyneux says it, Alexa, play Back to Back by Drake. Casey Shum has gone and done it. Quinton undefeated in 2020. Casey Shum here as well. Racing is amazing. He's happy. Row, row, row your boat, or whatever that is, Casey, as he goes on to win. Fantastic Alien Sea. He wins not only Zone K, but also Zone L in dominant fashion here as we look further down. Ben Shuilong now has got to finish it off. He's in third place. He's got to finish. And Moti goes down. Moti crashes as he's trying to push it with Jeff. Ben is done for the day. Another podium for him with what it looks like currently. Jeff Rooney looks like he pushed Moti to the edge, quite literally, and then Moti found the boundaries of the track and put his wheels down, or sorry, up, and made a mistake and fell down. Now, Nigel, Nigel's back on the podium by 2 points. Homer and Luis. Nigel Doyle is back on the podium, and with one swell fluke, he's just back. He's back, but Homer Thompson wants none of this. He wants to try and catch Nigel Doyle on the finish line. If he does, he gets back in, but no, Nigel Doyle will get his podium spot, knocking out his old teammate, and he will take that third spot. Now, Jennifer, about to finish her first race here, the second Omnium. I guess that officially counts as a back-to-back Omnium if you finish one race, so kudos to Jennifer for doing 2 Omniums back-to-back. But that's all she wrote. Let's bring up the instant replay of the finish. Casey Shum winning back-to-back zones, almost going invincible, almost taking every single track here as every event this Saturday evening in Europe. But it was just that first race that Nigel Doyle took away from him that was the difference maker. But regardless, can walk away happy, knowing you still got it, knowing that the CVRcade World Cup Season 2 is around the corner, and you've got to be tuning up the engine. You've got to get ready. $25K, $25,000 was on the line in Season 1. Who knows what will be on the line in Season 2? Remember, CVR World Cup Vancouver, I believe, had a prize purse of like $100,000. So never rule anything out. Congratulations, Casey. We saw a different side of you today. We saw you actually suffer on stream visibly. What's different?
I don't know. I mean, back-to-back makes a big difference. I mean, that feels like the finals there when you get into that second hour. I mean, I came here for a workout, and for maybe for some of those out there that don't know it, that's actually one of the big things I like about this setup is, riding a constant pace for an hour or two doesn't build near as much fitness as, maybe like 10 to 15-minute hard efforts with a little bit of rest between. So, 2 hours of CVRcade from a performance perspective and a fitness perspective is actually a better workout than just going and riding steady state somewhere, you know, spinning on a treadmill or whatever. So, I mean, I use these for good hit workouts, and I want to suffer because I want to be a cyclist. So that's what I'm here for.
Well, it's been paying off, Casey. I know you've hit some of your biggest numbers ever. It's good to see, but even better, some of the gameplay. That block on Jennifer. I mean, talk me through that. You see her in the rearview mirror, and then you go, oh, right key.
So, apologies to Jennifer. I mean, that I won't lie, that was intentional. But her dad threw that first stone in the first round today, so she can call up Pops and thank him for that one. I couldn't. Frank wasn't there to get back, and Jenna was coming. And honestly, I didn't have the kick to catch her. You know, I guess my one tip for the day is when you're coming up on a crew like that, like I gave the tip on the last race, put as many lanes between you and the other people as possible so they can't just jump over one lane and block you.
Well, there you've got it. Some more tips from Casey. Thank you, Casey. Second place of the day, Mochi P. Kelney. Is this what you expected from today? 2 podiums, some good racing, some victories?
Oh, I'm really pleased with that, and big congratulations to Casey. That was tough racing. It was really good practice for team cognition. My favorite moment, again, was that real great pull that Homer gave me in our teamwork to get back to the lead group on Roman Arena in the second Omnium. But like Casey said, I mean, it's an incredible workout. The high-intensity intervals where we're just getting a little bit of rest in between and repeating for 2 of these in a row. I mean, my normalized power, which is sort of like average power, including all the rest and dark matter velo, is like 280. And I can't, you know, to do that outside for 2 hours would be real tough. And, you know, I can't even find a place where I could go and do efforts this hard anywhere near me in near the city of Chicago. So, like, it's a great workout, and the time went by because the competition was so good. I mean, that was crazy with me and Jeff at the end there vying for that spot. He had his corner caper. I blocked him. Then he came around me, and I slid out one lane into him. I mean, it was so close. And I'm at my limit. I have no idea what my heart rate was. It was probably near equalized 200, but I couldn't tell you because I was too busy playing the game. And that's what makes this so different and so great. You know, if you told me that I had to go do an effort like I did for 2 hours before we started, I would tell you sorry and walk away. But you know, it happened. It was fun, and I can't wait to do it again. And there's nothing else like it.
Well, it is a joy having you here, Moti. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad to see you do well. And what Homer did, I mean, that guy just oozes class. Thank you very much for being good. And, I mean, the podium, the wins, everything, it looks like you've got some good form ahead of you for the CVRcade World Cup. Thank you, Moti. Now, Nigel, at the end there, it got a bit spicy. Like, you were looking good for the podium, and suddenly your old teammate came around you. But I think in the last, 100 meters, you took back your podium spot?
Yeah, I overtook 2 of them on the second to last corner. I think they overbraked for that corner, so I was able to pass them. And then slammed the brakes on for that very last corner. That's the real tight one. And then sprint to the finish. And so picked up 2 places at the end. So that was very pleasing.
Was it extra sweet that it was Ben that you just caught off, who today changed his jersey to the pink jersey?
Oh, no. No, but Ben's a mate. I mean, you know, it's just I wasn't even really conscious of who they were. I just knew that I passed 2 people. I didn't know who they were, really. I wasn't conscious that it was Ben.
Well, at the end, you still took 3rd place. Thank you, Nigel. I'm excited to see what snack you bring next time, because banana is good, but it's too vanilla. We've had peeps, we've had maple syrup, shots. We need to see something New Zealand, unless bananas somehow are, but otherwise, Nigel, excited to see what you bring next time. In 4th place was Ben. We've still got in here Ben. You thought you had it, I thought you had it, but then Nigel pulls that out of nowhere, comes through the corner. Good day nonetheless.
Yeah, good day nonetheless. I was surprised to be back in third. So, easy come, easy go, really. So, fair play to Nigel for fighting till the end and getting that last spot on the podium. That was good. With a double, you always start the second double thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this, but somehow, it just comes, and sometimes they go quite well. So yeah, really pleased.
Well, it was good to see you in there, Ben. Good results all the way through. It looks like everybody just have been upping their game, so we're excited to see what you bring next week as the game just gets better and better. New power-ups were on display, or at least new methods of using their power-ups. That'll be interesting to see the fall-on effects of that. Jeff Rooney was in 5th place. Jeff, we didn't have you on stream for Zone K, but we had you on for L. Overall, good day for you?
Yeah, like the others said, it's a great workout. I just want to question Modi and Casey saying, they do the hard efforts and they get that rest. That's only because they're so far in front, they get to rest and we can't even catch them.
Well, if you were in the front, you could get the rest.
Else. Yeah, or try to be at the front, but they won't allow it.
Well, it sounds like you need to hit up the Casey Shum boot camp of how to get to the front of a CVRcade race. But good racing nonetheless.
I got a feeling that food I can smell cooking. I think it's roast pork. I think it's meat.
Man, you made me so hungry. Accidental. I've been thinking about food ever since that one moment, Jeff. So shame on you. I know Mark KG has a bone to pick with you, quite literally, because we're all hungry now. So Jeff, good racing. It's good to have you here. 5th place. Let's end off with Homer Thompson, I think. Homer, up there. You came 6th at the end. Oh, I think Homer has just left. I think we still may have Jennifer in here as well at the end. So we'll go to Jennifer. Jennifer, back-to-back Omniums. Is that the first time ever?
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it that, but I decided today, in the spirit of building my endurance, to do 2, and my leg said no. So that's why you'd see me dipping out there. I was trying to lend a little help in the beginning of the races, and then I kind of was like, all right, there's no way that I'm going to place in this one, and dropped off a bit. To Casey, ouch. But also totally fair play. I think that was a really great move. So good on him, and congrats today to him.
Now, yeah, I was going to say, because we heard Casey's point of view, was there ever a second when you thought, nah, Casey, he wouldn't dare?
I actually didn't think Casey would, and that's why. So I'm glad that he said that. Now I will definitely avoid getting blocked by Casey in the future. And it was smart, so I can't be upset about it. But don't blame my dad. Come on now.
Well, avoiding Casey in the future for blocks are easier said than done. But Jennifer, what did you take away today? Racing 2 zones, watching the stream earlier. We heard Casey's thought. We heard Moti's thought. What are your thoughts?
I'm so excited for the new season in 2020. It is what I've taken away. People are absolutely, like you said, stepping up their game. It makes it even more exciting, makes it even harder, and that's what it's all about. So I'm very happy to be back this year.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to all the streamers today. We had a stacked field of racers from Zone E. Timothy Nils was in there. There was a few more. I totally forgot. That zone was like a blur to me because I was in the middle of it. We had Beth in the commentary, of course. Zone K was awesome. Moti, Casey, Jennifer, Ben, Nigel, Jeff, Homer, Carl. Good to see everybody in this. I see Bridal Eel 291 just use some sparks in the chat for a gift. Thank you so much for spending those with us. I mean, the World Cup just around the corner. Season 1 ended with a $25,000 prize purse. I'm excited. Make sure to go over to Facebook, CVRcade on Facebook. Go on to Instagram, go on to Twitter, or go over to the CVRcade Riders group. That's where all the riders hang out. It's kind of like the green room. It's behind the scenes. It's where everyone chats. That's where the civil blocker gets posted. That's where the talk show gets posted. So if you can't have enough of your fix of CVRcade on your Tuesdays, your Thursdays, and your Saturdays when we're racing, there's more. There's the talk shows on Wednesdays, and there's the civil blocker whenever Nils Heldens gets a charitable donation. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll be back on Tuesday for this exact same time slot, zones K and L, and we'll have zone T, same for Thursday next week, and then Saturday, zone E, K, and L. From all of us here at CVRcade and the CVRcade World Cup, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. But no, Beth, your goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.